Teaching history, believe you me, is not an easy thing. I used to get incredibly bored when I was in history lessons, even though now I cannot get enough of history. And that is exactly what Onus Traianus is trying to do. This is a war game that is based in, well, history. But is this actually worth the amount of money that you have to pay to get your hands on it? So play we all. Onus Traianus is a game for 1 to 4 players from DracoIdeas, my favorite Spanish company, and it's a game that I usually wouldn't pay a single iota of attention because it's a war game, and to be perfectly honest, war games are just not my thing. I've tried a few and they're just a little bit too dense for me. I'm sorry, I don't get them. I wish I did, and I wish some of you could give me reasons to get into them. Please do. But I played Onus Traianus a long time ago online when they were about to release a new edition of the game, and oh my god, I loved it so much. Now I've managed to get, they've given me this box, which I am very grateful for, with all the components. So I want to show you what's inside, because this is huge, unbelievably huge. So what do you get for your money? Firstly, well, you couldn't be more Traianus than showing a figure of Trajan on the box. That's the emperor, the fella who was fighting with so many people in the Dacian wars, that's him. That's his photograph in there. So that, what else do you need to show? The back, though, we're starting to see some interesting things. Firstly, we get a description of what the game is, which is very good, and what the components are going to be, and what the game looks like when it's being displayed. One thing, though, it doesn't come with this mat that you can see here. You don't need it, but you could do with it. And the company makes some huge, absolutely gorgeous mats that you can use for the game. So I highly recommend this, because as well as being very good quality, they make the game look absolutely gorgeous and amazing. What's inside? Look, somebody, as in my husband, has given me a Stanley knife so I can very precisely open boxes. Yep, I should have been a surgeon, but I don't have the hand or the brains to be a surgeon. So there you go. Just as good for anybody else who I am not going to kill because I am not a surgeon. Now the box. This is really good. By the way, just so you know, okay, let's be honest in here. The box says more than 30 minutes gameplay. Yeah, more than 300 minutes perhaps of gameplay. Once you get into this, and depending on how large your armies are going to be, you're going to need an awful lot of time. Actually, you're going to want an awful lot of time, because playing this game is really, seriously, very, very good fun. Okay, let's start taking a look at. Firstly, we have a book. This is a campaign book, because you have a number of campaigns based on real battles. I mean, that alone, if you're a teacher of Roman history and you don't have this in your classroom, you are missing out. Seriously, trust me on this one, you are missing out. The layout is clean, very clean, quite simple. It's not a book that wants to be beautiful. It's just a book that wants to give you all the information that you need to have. as clearly as possible. Very good separation between paragraphs, which is great, and loads and loads and loads of campaigns all over the place. Then we get the rules, and surprisingly enough, the rules are not as heavy as I would be expecting. I've seen other war games, which is one of the things that really put me off, which, I mean, you have to literally become an erudite before you can start playing properly. And I have seen plenty of people at gaming clubs where, oh, I want to do this. Oh, but wait a second, because to do that, and then get the book and start looking. Oh, yeah, but then I just want to play. Okay, don't bring me, you know, your doctorate thesis. I don't want to be a PhD on anything to play your game. I just want to play. So the rules are actually surprisingly simple, and it's one of the things that really captivated me about this game. You're going to assemble your armies. Each army, you know, element is going to have a number of points, and depending on how many points you assign to your armies, it's going to be bigger or smaller. And then you're going to move around, you're going to shoot at people, you're going to see if you've hit, and if you've hit, you're going to see how much damage you've done, and then you're going to go around them and you're going to crush them to death, and you're going to have a great time. That's pretty much the game. There isn't a lot more to it, but the rules explain them a lot better than I could possibly do. And believe me, although this rule book is 51 pages long, 52 if we count the back cover, it really isn't that bad. If you watch a couple of videos, you will pretty much know exactly what you have to do, and then refer to this as and when. It doesn't take that long. Then we get solitaire rules, so you can play by yourself, which is not a bad idea, because, well, you're gonna love it. You really are gonna enjoy this an awful lot. Next, we get a number of tokens and a number of rulers. The tokens come out quite easily, which is very good. So we get tokens for the factions, tokens to know whether you're broken, your unit is broken, so it scatters all over the place, how much damage you're getting. We get some tiny little cardboard rulers, so you know how far away you're from the enemy, and how much you can move and how much you can rotate. We get, these are the tokens. That means that you're surrounding your enemies and you can do more damage, hopefully, because that's why they are your enemies. They come out very easily, no damage done to the pieces, which is great. And there are a ton of tokens, so we're gonna put that aside. It also comes with a dice. The dice that come in the box, they're nothing too amazing. They're just, you know, standard 8 6-sided dice, but they sell. Super cute little box with very, very nice dice. Very, very cool dice. I really like these a lot better. What else comes in the box? And now we start with the cards. And boy, we're gonna have a feast, because we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 decks of cards. I think in total this thing has to have about 400 cards, give or take, which is not bad at all. So let's start with this one, for instance. Let's see, is this easy to open? And if not, am I gonna have to summon my trusty newly acquired Stanley knife? No, it is here. Okay, so the cards, the back is going to tell you what army you are controlling or what army they belong to. Okay, and the front is going to tell you what kind of units these are. Now, cleverly enough, you might see that you can read all these things in here, but the units are facing the other way because they are meant to be, well, facing the other way because that's where the enemy is, not you. They're going to advance in that direction, yet you can still read everything. Everyone comes with a number of points. That's the value of the unit. So if you want to have, for instance, an army of 1,000 points, then you would get, this is 110 points. And then you get how much damage they do, how much morale they have, how much damage they can withstand, how fast they can move, if they are professionals, if they can shoot from a distance, at what distance they can shoot. All of that is in here. So as soon as you learn to read these icons, that's it. That's the game pretty much sorted. You will barely have to look at the rules again, because it's going to tell you everything you need. The material of the cards, it's all right. It's actually quite thick. Unfortunately, it's not laminated, so it could get dirty very quickly, and it will get an awful lot of use. But here we are. That's what we have, and it's not too bad. You could sleeve them, but you're going to need an awful lot of sleeves, spend an awful lot of time doing this, and also it may slip around the table unless you use those mats. So that's 3 of the armies. Then there are more armies in here, like the Romans, more Romans, Phoenicians, I believe, I don't know, some of them, who cares? Oh, no, they have elephants, wow, that's very exciting. You can have elephants, and if you have elephants, then 250 points. They are going to do a ton of damage. Wow, 5 points of damage. That's incredible. And they would stand 7 points. They're not going to be easy to kill. I tell you, not going to be easy to kill at all. But that's, you know, another army. As you can see, they have an awful lot of variety within the units that they're using. And if I am not mistaken, those units are true to history. So, you know, you're not going to find that, I don't know, the Gauls are using elephants, because that would be like, that's a fantasy world. I don't think there were elephants in Europe at the time. I'd be surprised. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. So, that's that. And then we have a tiny little one for this. No, I don't think I'm going to need my trusty Stanley knife. Et voila. And now we get this smaller deck. Now, this smaller deck is quite interesting because you have 2 different things on each card. One of them is an action. And the cool thing is that at the beginning of your round, you're going to choose what action you want to add to your units. So, for instance, this one here is a battle cry. And it says the enemy will check morale with -1 after the combat, even if it has not been wounded. Because in this game, if you wound your enemy, they may get frightened. You have to do a morale check. And if you fail that morale check, the unit could break and scatter all over the place. Because, let's face it, who wants to get killed? So this guy would allow you that it doesn't matter if you hit the enemy or not, you're still going to force the other player to check for morale and maybe get rid of one of their units. Every card has something completely different. You know, this one has Butcher. Both sides in combat, melee combat, have +2 and +2 to fight and damage. So they really hate each other, basically. This one here, for instance, would say break the line. So the loser of the combat will do a morale check with a -2. So you get this little action that give a huge amount of variety even to the same battle. And you can apply them as and when. Once you've used them at the beginning of the next round, you recover, you get from deck and get new ones, and you decide which one you want to use at the time. So that gives, the good thing about this is that it gives a very epic feel to what you're going to do, and it makes every battle completely different, which is great. And that is it. There is an awful lot to this game. There is an awful lot to like and an awful lot to play. And if you like war games, history-based war games, I really cannot recommend this enough. And believe me, coming from me, even though I like this company, is quite a recommendation. This game sits at the moment at an 8.7 in the boardgamegeek. That is no small feat. And the comments, and I'm just going to choose some random ones in here, would say, I saw this and looked interesting. I know nothing about it other than it's a tactical game set in Roman period, and it doesn't give you any punctuation, but novel front from Paris, very accessible way of doing large battle. That is a very good point. Grey Ronin from Australia, loved the first Rome versus Carthage release and have since achieved some friends as converts with the Traianus release. Random event cards keep the players off balance, spoiling some clever plans. So much scope for playing different period empires. A very quick setup and pack away. Love it. It's not me saying that this is great. And now that this is being upgraded with new battlefields, new adventures, new campaign, using the historical novels of Simon Scarrow, this is growing quite frenetically, which is really good. So seriously, I cannot recommend this game enough. If you're looking for a quick to set up, very fun, very different, history-based war game that's not going to need a PhD in rules to learn, you cannot do any better than this. It's tremendous. If you have already played this, I would love to hear what you have to say. And if you have any questions, please let me know, or watch the video that we recorded a little while ago where we actually played this online. Until the next time though, thank you very much indeed for being there. I look forward to your comments and I will talk to you very soon indeed. So play wheel.